So you've been in the Cincinnati craft beer community for a very long time. What made you start to want to blog?
Well, that's an interesting question. So, beer is the easy answer. I love beer. I love craft beer. I love Cincinnati craft beer. From pretty much the very beginning of me being a craft beer drinker, there was local beer, and so I've just always loved local craft beer. As far as why I started a blog, that's a little bit more complicated. I'm a note taker. I'm like a very crazy level note taker. I've always kind of kept these weird little notes about things so that I don't forget things, and it helps me learn. That's just how I learn things. And I started at one point kind of just taking notes about not only just the beers that I were drinking, but the places and the people and just these things that were going on, and kind of the web that kind of ties them all together, and that kind of thing is very fascinating to me. And you couldn't find the information on any other blogs that were out there, and there were lots of beer blogs here in town. Mm-hmm. So eventually I just, on some kind of whim, put it up on the internet. and people started reading it. So then I'm like, oh, I guess I have a blog. But it wasn't like some kind of, today I'm going to start a blog. It wasn't like that kind of well thought out. It was, unfortunately, because I think I could have structured things a lot better if I had planned from the beginning of what it was going to look like.
Well, then you probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, I probably would have. I like structure. I like that. I like that a lot more than the chaos that that has determined the direction of the gnome since then. But yeah, it was just wanting to get all of this information written down somewhere and in one spot where, number one, I could get to it, and then eventually that other people could get to it too.
It's very useful.
The easiest way to put it.
Yeah. Well, because sometimes you go, like, especially when we were going down in Indianapolis or when we were in Nashville, we were trying to figure out stuff about these breweries.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, maybe they have a sentence on their website.
Yeah.
And then it's okay. I've got to scroll through and I've got to go through Google and find some pictures and.
Well, and like I struggled too, especially in those early kind of times of Cincinnati beer. Like you would get on and somebody would have an article that they wrote about a brewery, and like the hours would be on there. And you're like, oh, that's great. Then you'd show up and the hours were wrong. And I'm like, well, why would you not change that on your website? Why would you, as a blogger, not correct that? Mm-hmm. I get it, but that frustrated me. So I'm like, okay, I need a place that I know that the hours are right. I need a place that I know the information about the brewery is correct. I don't want somebody to tell me they are brewing on a 10-barrel system if last year they upgraded to a 15-barrel, or vice versa, whatever the case may be. If they have food, I want to know that. I don't want to go there and have somebody like that wrote an article when they first opened telling me they don't have food, to not have somehow updated that information on there for me to get to. So I started just doing that, fixing everything that everybody else was getting wrong. And I'm not perfect. Don't get me wrong. If you ever see something that's incorrect on the website, please let me know, because it drives me crazy.
Yeah, there's definitely gaps in information. Part of it's just, do you have the team to? That's
the difficulty now. Like it was easier early on when there was just a handful of breweries. You could get to every beer tapping. You could talk to breweries every single week. Be like, hey, how are you guys? What's going on? What's new? What's coming up? And you could make that one-on-one contact constantly. Whereas now there's some places where it's going to be 6 months before I get back there, and that's generous with some of them.
Yeah.
Sons of Toil, I'm lucky if I get out there once a year. Like it's hard to keep that updated.
Yeah, I want to say we've been out there twice, maybe.
Yeah, it has to be like a very conscious effort to get to some of these places that are on the opposite side of town for you, especially when you've got a great brewery that's close by. It's easy just to go there. So that's the tough part right now is keeping things up to date.
When there's 90 plus locations that are active and doing things, it does that. Even if you do one a week, that's still 2 years.
Yeah.
If you do 2 a week,
that's why we have to go to 9 places every day. It's because I'm working.
It's a tax write-off. It's fine.
It is the difficulty, though, you guys talk about the difficulties of parenting in the craft beer sphere, and that sometimes things are tougher because you've got kids. It's like that too. I mean, there's family stuff going on. There's all kinds of events and things that you have to do as a parent, and sometimes it's hard to go out there and be a gnome.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like every time we have plans, that we're like, everybody's super excited about. It's been on the schedule for weeks. The night before, somebody pops a fever. Yeah,
you guys all got sick before Oktoberfest season. Like that is a cardinal sin. Like I tell my kids every year as we get to like July, I'm like, listen up, guys, it's coming. Oktoberfest is almost here. Everybody put on your bubble suits. Don't breathe on anybody. Don't touch anybody. Don't even look at anybody because nobody can get sick.
Hey, the important thing.
Unacceptable.
The important thing is that it was all before the Donauschwaben Oktoberfest.
Yes. Yeah,
that's the only one that matters.
They all matter.
They all matter, but for us, it's 3 days of basically living there.
Yeah.
So if one of us had to stay home with the kids, it would totally throw everything away.
It would wreck the entire season.
Yeah. It's the one thing we look forward to every year. We got 35 plus beers on draft this year.
Yeah, it's and I feel that way about, for me, the entire Oktoberfest season. Like it is so important to me, and if I miss one thing, it's like it's messes everything up.
Yeah, fortunately the event. So I missed Germania's Oktoberfest, which I was not super bummed about because that one's always hot.
It wasn't it was still warm this year, but it wasn't as bad as it's been in previous years.
Yeah, I more have the previous years in my head
it's
of
hot
like
sometimes.
being drenched and then trying to figure out where the closest beer is so I can try to cool down after.
Oh, but man,
using.
That beer tastes so good when you're sweaty.
It does. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be like the most bitter IPA ever, and you're like, this is the best thing I've ever drank in my life.
I have never had an IPA at an Oktoberfest.
Joe did.
I will not stand for that.
Because he ordered an Oktoberfest, and they handed him the IPA instead, and he didn't realize it until we were far enough away.
You always got to pay attention to those things.
And then he took a drink of it.
Also,
and he's like, ruined the night.
How do you not take a swig as soon as that cup hits your hand? Like as soon as they hand it to you, I don't care if I'm getting beers for 3 people. I'm drinking one little sip out of each one of them. I'm like, I can't not do it.
It is the beer tax. That is a thing.